just in case. Hello, if you're watching this, sorry I hit record after our phonogram and spelling review, but we're about to start the new spelling lesson. Okay, now boys and girls, our first word for today goes along with a word from yesterday. Do you guys remember the word seize? What does seize mean? Dikshita?
Seize means like you're like putting somebody in like a dungeon and you're seizing him.
Yeah, maybe if you put somebody in a dungeon, yeah, you seize them, take them, and kind of forcibly place them in that dungeon. So seize is like to take with force. Seize. Now there's a word that comes from it called seizure. Can you all say seizure? Has anybody heard this word before? It's a medical condition that happens to people. Arianch, have you heard of this one?
No, but it sounds like Julius Caesar.
It does sound like Caesar, Julius Caesar. And that's kind of how we think to spell it, because we have a z in this word, just like in the word seize. But a seizure is actually a condition. Okay, go ahead, Alexander. Yeah, where there's shaking. That's a good way of representing it.
A seizure is like sometimes you get a seizure and you're shaking. You're just shaking for no what reason.
Yeah, so it's a medical condition. It's a problem with the nervous system. We haven't learned about the nervous system yet, but we will, and it relates to the brain and your nerves. So it's when there's a lot of shaking and the person can't control it. It's really sad. Sometimes it's dangerous, sometimes it's not so dangerous, but the word is seizure. Now we're going to keep that base word seize, but drop our silent final E. And it changes in pronunciation from a Z to a J because it's followed by a U. Okay, so seizure, when followed by a U, it changes kind of like in treasure. Okay, say it with me, seizure. 2 syllables, but we're actually going to keep the Z as part of the first syllable. Seize-er, 2 syllables is the way we think to spell it. At the end of that second syllable, we've got the of hurt and a silent final E. Okay, please pick up your pencil and write seizure. Thank you, Alina. I should see everybody else either writing or holding it up. Harika and Arshav, it looks like you're looking at the camera. Hold it up if you're done writing, please. Samhita, if you're done, please hold it up to the camera too. Okay, check that your spelling matches mine. We've got E, Z, syllable break. So that's just like the word seize, but we dropped the silent final E. Silent final E. Seizure. Check that your spelling matches mine, and if it doesn't, cross it out and rewrite it. Okay. So for the base word, seize, seizure is the way that we say it. We've got this phonogram AE that we do not use at the end of English words. Which sound is it saying? Is it saying the first or second sound, boys and girls? Boys and girls, think through, what is this phonogram? What is our phonogram here? A-E that we do not use at the end of English words. Say that, please. A-E that we do not use at the end of English words. Great job, Alina. Great job, Ariansh. And great job for thinking through. It's the second sound, seizure. I'm going to go a little away from the manual and say that this is a thinking cap here because it says a j sound like in treasure. Over here, seizure, we've got u, a, u, u, saying its name because of a silent final E. Job 1. But I'll stick with the manual for this one as well and put a thinking cap over those two because it says more of an sound, seizure. Okay, and this word is a noun. Sorry, that's kind of a tricky one to mark. Okay, next word. For today is superintendent. Can you all say that with me? Superintendent, which is not a superhero. Does anybody know what a superintendent is? Tyke?
It's in a school. It's the only person who has a higher rank than a principal.
Very well said. Yeah. It is a person who technically has a higher rank than a principal because a superintendent is usually responsible for more than one school.
And my mama was a principal.
Oh, wonderful. Are you looking at her right now? You could probably tell us some of her roles as a superintendent.
Well, she was only a principal. But she was in charge of this school in New Jersey that we lived in Philadelphia. We visited all the time, and it was awesome because while the other people were, I could just watch people work, and I could also play Angry Birds in her office.
Well, I bet you have, very different memories than her own memories from what that was like. But that's, I'm sure, very sweet to have had that opportunity to see what her work was like. Okay, boys and girls, so superintendent is our word. So we've got super as a prefix here, and then intendant. Can you sound out the word with me? Superintendent. 5 syllables. Let's do that again. Superintendent. 5 syllables. For the first syllable, su, we've got a, u, in a open syllable. Next, the of her is what we're going to use there, just like in the word super. Next, basic code. Next syllable, superintend, is n. 3 sounds, basic code, just like the number 10. And finally, superintendent. What sounds do you hear? Great job, Emma. I'll have you unmute yourself and share. What are those last sounds?
But
Superintendent. Alexander, I'm trying to hear from Emma.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Good job, Emma. That's basic code, superintendent, like a dent in a car. Pick up your pencil and please write superintendent, which could be the person who's like a principal's boss or someone in charge of a whole building. Could be someone responsible for managing a lot of police officers too. They've got superintendents there.
It sounds like the attendants in your body.
Oh, like the tendons. That is a good point. It does sound similar to our tendons that we've been learning about. Those kind of thread-like parts of our body that stretch over the bone. Thank you all. Show me superintendent. U, syllable break. P, syllable break. I, syllable break. T, syllable break. D, t. Superintendent. Great job. If you spelled that right, I think you need to give yourself a, this is what we started with my 11:30 class, pat on your scapula. Not a pat on your back, but a pat on your scapula. You remember your scapula? Your shoulder bone. That's right, Saha Nasri. You got your scapula. Saha Nasri, show us your scapula. That's it. Good job, Rishith. Good job, Samhita. Somebody in my 11:30 class thought of that. I thought that was a clever thing to do. Okay, Alina, would you mark it for us?
Okay. First you put a 3 on the U, then you underline the ADR of her, and then I guess that's all.
That's right. These are all basic code. Intendant. Actually, we'll stick with the manual and say this one is unstressed, so we're going to put a thinking cap on that too. Because we kind of say an if sound. Okay, this is a person. It's a noun. Because that's a person, place, or thing. A noun names a quality or an idea. Okay, time for another person. Does anybody know the name for a doctor who performs operations? What is that? Aryansh?
Nurse.
Good guess, but not a nurse. It's a type of doctor specifically. Dikshita?
Well, about doctors then.
Surgeon.
Ooh, good. You got it. Surgeon. Can you all say surgeon? A surgeon is a person who performs operations or surgeries. There's different types of surgeons, but it's just anybody who performs surgery. So the word surgeon, sound out with me. Surgeon, 2 syllables. First syllable is s-er, and we're going to use the of hurt. Think, I hurt myself, so I need to go to the surgeon. Hurt is what we're going to use here. Next syllable, j-a-n, surgeon. The j is g-j, saying its second sound because it's followed by a silent e. Okay, which keeps it like that base word surgery. There's a G-E spelling pattern there. So surgeon, that second syllable is j, silent e, a-n. Pick up your pencil and write it, please. Simhita, I got that email, but let's not focus on any Bright Thinker assignments right now, okay? You were requesting access for that picture, but let's not do anything on Bright Thinker right now, okay,
I
sweetie?
didn't click on anything.
Well, I just got that email from you seconds ago. That's weird. Don't worry about it, sweetie. I just thought you were doing something on Bright Thinker because I just got an email moments ago from
But
you.
I just checked and I'm on my to-do list. I wasn't even on my phone.
Don't worry about it. We're not going to. I'm just trying to make sure you don't have Bright Thinker open and doing other assignments. But I give you the benefit of the doubt. Thank you, Arshad. Everyone show me your word, please. Okay, let's check our spelling. Syllable break. Surgeon. Check that your spelling matches mine. And if you made any mistakes, cross it out and rewrite it. If you got that right, you need a pat on your scapula. That was a hard one to do. Great job if you got it right. Okay, first syllable, how are we going to mark it? Ariansh?
Can I mark the entire word?
Yes.
So in the first syllable, you underline earlier of heard. You put
Excellent.
a 2 on top of the j. You double underline the e, and you put a thinking cap over the o.
Perfect. And what part of speech is it?
A noun, because it's a person.
Excellent. Great job, Ariansh. Okay, our last word for today is thoroughly. Would you all say thoroughly? I think it's kind of weird, but they don't have the word thorough. They're just jumping right to thoroughly. Thoroughly is an adverb meaning basically to do something completely. Like, she thoroughly cleaned her room. That means she cleaned it really well and completely finished. Thoroughly. Can you all say that with me? Thoroughly. Marcus, would you unmute yourself and say it for me? Thoroughly.
Thoroughly.
Very good. Sound it out with me, boys and girls. Let me see fingers under your chins. Rishith? Thank you. We're going to think to spell thoroughly. Thoroughly. 3 syllables. The first syllable is just like the Norse god Thor. Or. 2 sounds. Next syllable, what do you hear? Thorough. 1 sound. That's the phonogram o, uff, off, ah, ow. What are we writing? O, uff, off, ah, ow. Thorough. And finally, we have our adverb suffix, ole. Please pick up your pencil and write thoroughly, which we say thoroughly. Tag, let's hold that down because I don't want people to get distracted, okay? Some people are still writing.
Okay.
Thank you. Great job, Arshav, Alina, and Alexander. Sahanasri, excellent. Everyone should hold up thoroughly when they're done. Rishith, it looks like you're not writing, bud. Let me see you write your word. Thank you. Okay. Or, syllable break. O, syllable break, ol, e. Thoroughly. Check that your spelling matches mine. And Marcus, would you unmute yourself to mark the word?
Check my mouse is malfunctioning. Okay, there.
Do we have any two-letter phonograms in the first syllable?
Thoroughly. O-R and T-H.
Excellent. We're going to underline both of those. And or. And we pronounce the word thoroughly. So we're also going to put a thinking cap on that or. You see anything else we should mark?
O-U-G-H.
Good. The sounds for that one are oh, ooh, uff, off, ah, ow. Oh, I just thought of something as well. We read about thoroughbred horses in our Farmer Boy chapter yesterday.
We did.
So that's part of thoroughbred, like thoroughbred horses. Now, Marcus, help me out with the sounds. We say thoroughly, so let's count out the sounds. O, oo, uff, off, ah, ow. Which one is it? O, oo, uff, off, ah, ow.
It's a number one.
Good. So that means we're not going to put a number on top. Finally, which sound of yet, it, I, e are we saying? It, I, e.
I think so, both three.
Perfect. Third vowel sound. And because of that ly, we know it's an adverb. Great job, Marcus. Oh, that took a little longer than our usual spelling lessons because some of these are a little bit tricky. But you guys did great. Let's write them in cursive now. Actually, sorry, let me cross that out and try it again. Seizure. But you can also make that Z a little curvy at the top, like that. Superintendent. Surgeon. Thoroughly. Okay, those are our 4 words in cursive. Okay, and sorry, there's going to be actually one change. I was just checking the manual. We're going to change that syllable break in superintendent to right here between the D and E. And they do that to keep the base word together. Superintendent. even though we pronounce the D in the last syllable. Thank you so much, Arshab. Everyone else follow his example, please, and show me your cursive when you're done. Great job, boys and girls. Okay. For our other cursive, we're going to do a little farmer boy quote from your reading yesterday. Or actually, this is from your reading today. Actually, this is not going to be the best one to write. Let's actually make a sentence with some of our words from today instead. Okay, so how about the superintendent thoroughly had a seizure, so he went to the surgeon. That doesn't make actually much sense because you wouldn't necessarily go to a surgeon for a seizure. Yes, Tyke?
After that, can we write a sentence of our own?
Yes. Okay, boys and girls, pick up your pencil and please write the following. The superintendent thoroughly had a seizure, so he went to the surgeon. Arshab?
Do we have to do it in cursive?
Yes, please.
Miss Garner, can you repeat the sentence?
The superintendent thoroughly had a seizure, so he went to the surgeon.
Miss Gardner,
Yes?
how do you do an uppercase T?
Huh?
It's like this.
Okay, thanks.
I'll go ahead and start writing it as well. Yes, Aryansh?
What you just did was actually an uppercase F. That's how an F looks. An F connects to letters and a T doesn't. That's how you
The
taught
F
it.
has an extra line there. The T does connect to other letters. But the F has an extra little line. There are a lot of people who don't connect the T though. They do it like that. But in ours, they're both supposed to connect. The F just has the extra little line. That's the difference. Okay. I was double checking on that capital T, and they've made some slight changes in the cursive. So you can do it either way. You can connect just low at the bottom. You don't want to connect at the top line because that's how you would do the F. But you can connect low at the bottom like this, or you could write the like this. Either one is fine. Yes, Tig?
Can I share my sentence?
Yes, I'd love to hear it.
The superintendent and the surgeon gave the thoroughbred a seizure in which they argued about root beer.
Okay, can you say it one more time?
The superintendent and the surgeon gave the thoroughbred a seizure during which they argued about root beer.
Oh, very good, Tig. Okay, yes, Alina?
Can I say mine?
Yes, sweetie. Go ahead.
Okay. The two of the words you might know, Miss Gardner. Okay. So after I had seizure, the surgeon gave me a banana biscuit.
Oh my goodness, you guys love doing those words.
Banana
Okay.
biscuit is in the sentence.
Well, that is all we have time for today for our handwriting. Can I see your sentence? This one, if you had time for the others, that would be great. But if not, just show me the superintendent thoroughly had a seizure. Oh no. So he went to the surgeon. Marcus, can I see your writing? Kruti, Rishith, can you hold your papers up as well? And Harika? Great job, Dikshita. Great job, Sahanasri. Great job, Alina. Great job, Aryanch, Alexander. Okay, I think that should be about all the time you need. We are going to go over what you'll do on your well-ordered language test today. So we don't have well-ordered language together, but we will be taking a test in Bright Thinker. So let's go over that. And I'd love to review some of the songs. So could I have a volunteer do the antecedent jingle? We haven't done that one for a while. Josiah, thank you for volunteering.
An antecedent is a noun, clause, or phrase to which the pronoun refers. If the antecedent is singular, then the verb must be singular too. And if the noun, clause, or phrase is plural, then the pronoun must be plural too. An antecedent determines which pronoun is used.
Ba-bum-bum. Good job, Josiah. You remembered it perfectly. Okay, here is your test for today. And we'll go over some other jingles in preparation as well. There's just two parts. There are 6 sentences. And for this, I want you to, as it says here, attach a picture of your sentences that you analyze. Do not type them in the box. Lately, the formatting has been off, so I can't tell when you label something which word you're labeling. So please make sure you attach a picture. You can do that this way by capturing an image, or you can take a picture with the help of your parents and upload it. If you take a picture with your whiteboard, it should be clear enough that I can just look at it that way. It's especially good with your whiteboard, okay? And you can even do a couple different pictures if that is helpful. All right, let's review some of the other jingles as well. What is our pronoun jingle? Who can review our pronoun jingle? Josiah knows these so well. I want everybody else to also think of what the pronoun jingle is. Alexander?
A pronoun is a part of speech used to describe a noun or nouns. These are the.
A pronoun is, you just repeat it.
Oh, again?
A part of speech used in place.
A noun or nouns.
A pronoun is a part of speech. Okay. And let's review also the helping verb as part of the verb jingle. Can anybody sing our song? A verb is a part of speech. Oh, that's the noun jingle. Alina, can you help me out with that one? A verb is a part of speech.
Okay. A verb is a part of speech. A verb shows an action or a state of being.
A verb shows action or a state of being.
A verb is a part of speech.
A verb is a part of speech.
A verb shows action or a state of being.
A verb shows action or a state of being.
A helping verb helps another verb to express its meaning. A helping verb sits near the verb. It is called an auxiliary. And, is, are, were, we, been, been, has, have, had, do, does, did, may, might, must, should, could, would, shall, will, and can. A helping verb sits near a verb. And it is called an auxiliary. A helping verb sits near the verb. It is called an auxiliary.
Very good, Alina.
Yeah, you were singing the noun jingle for a minute, and I was
I
like,
know, I
wait,
got the
what?
tune mixed up.
Yeah.
Okay, so boys and girls, that is what's going to help you more than anything for that part of the test. Just if you know your jingles, the answers are right there. Okay, now for the rest of it, you'll have, once again, the sentences to analyze. Did anybody have questions about yesterday's sentences? No? Okay. Yesterday's sentences would really help you with this part of it. Do you like sentence 1, Tig? Is that the one that you're laughing at?
Yeah, the fat cat.
The fat cat chased the obnoxious dog. That's the only time that a mouse and cat are going to work together to chase that obnoxious dog around.
Like
Nobody
Tom
likes
and
that
Jerry.
obnoxious dog.
Like Tom and Jerry.
That's right. And number 3 is fitting with what you guys just did last week. During the state test, the nervous students answered the tough questions. Remember, if you're getting stuck on whether it's a DO or an object of the preposition, think of the direct object has to go with that verb. It answers who or what after the verb. Okay, so hopefully that helps you. Okay, boys and girls, that is all for well-ordered language, just going over the test. At this point, we can take out orthography notebooks. Orthography notebook time. Also stretch time. Mr. Bones is even going to stretch. Oh, he's going to do some
Come on,
jumping jacks.
Come on, Mr. Bones, move those legs too, Mr. Bones.
Oh, yep, he does need to stretch those legs. Oh, he's going to kick those legs up.
He needs to do some
And
kicks.
pat himself on his scapula. Give himself a little rib cage rub. And he's going to pat his pelvic bones. And stretch out that femur. Don't forget to stretch out that femur. And you all stretch out your femur too. Can't really actually stretch your bones. You're stretching the muscles. Okay. Well, let's sort our words. First, we're going to write them in the back of our notebook, page 61. Yes, Samhita?
I have a little question for science. Is there even a muscle surrounding the rib cage?
We do have some muscle, but it's very, very thin. It feels like it's just skin, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of muscle there, yeah.
So that's
Right around your ribs. You can all feel that right now,
Mhm.
but it's pretty slight. But you need some muscle there, right around those organs. Yes, Aryach?
Is that muscle that's around the rib cage, does it define on how strong you are?
There are definitely people who work on their muscles in different parts of the body, including right around their rib cage, their abdominal muscles, like a little bit lower than their rib cage too. And having some strong muscles there is part of your overall strength, definitely. Those muscles help you to stand upright, stand really nice and tall, have good posture. That's one of the good things about having strong muscles right around that rib cage. Okay, lesson 96, let's write our words. The first one was seizure. Seizure. S-E, Z, syllable break. U-er, silent final E. Seizure. Next up is superintendent. Please write superintendent. Tend-ent. Sorry, I kept getting confused with that d since we pronounce it in the last syllable, but we keep it with the base. Superintendent. Or sorry, not this one, just this one is going to be thinking cap. And finally, surgeon. Syllable break. J with a silent E. Surgeon. And one more, thoroughly. Please write thoroughly. Or syllable break. O, syllable break. O-E, thoroughly.
Miss Gardner, can you put your yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking at your faces, so my little screen is so small. Thank you for letting me know.
It's okay.
Or O-U-F-F-A-L, first sound, so we don't need to mark it. And third vowel sound of I-E. Marcus, are you on page 61 with us? Okay, this is all of our words. Let's go ahead and sort in a couple of spots. I want to go to the back, page 79, for a couple of places today. In the AE column, we have a word that's going to fit there. Do you know what it is? AE that we do not use at the end of English words. Can anybody think of what word we had in our lesson that could fit there? Dikshita?
Caesar.
Good. It sounds like Caesar, like Julius Caesar, but we end up saying seizure. Seizure. Let's also write the word seize. That fits there too. The word from yesterday. Okay, let's also go to page 78, right before it, sounds of E. For I-E, can you think of a word that we had in our lesson that fits there? Harika, can you think of which word in our lesson can fit in the Y column? Or Emma?
It was thoroughly.
Good, thoroughly. Okay, and then we'll just leave it at that. Sorting in some sounds of E. Okay, once you're done with that, we're going to take out our math workbooks, and I'd like to go over the answers to your homework before starting a new lesson. How did you guys feel about the homework yesterday? Thumbs up, sideways, or down? Up, sideways, or down? I see some up, some sideways. Marcus, how did you feel about it? Up, sideways, or down for the pages from yesterday? Sideways? Okay. Thanks for letting me know. Aryansh, did you have any questions?
100 was the hardest page. Question number 22 was the hardest one, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you for letting me know, because we're not going to go over all of it, but we can definitely go over that part.
Because it makes absolute no sense. I mean, it was very confusing. I had to get a little help from my dad.
Okay, thanks for letting me know. let's just start there. Can you all flip to page 100? And we're going to do 22. That's the one that Arianch said he had a hard time with, and maybe a lot of you did as well. Because it is a little unfortunate that in our textbook, they don't really have us practice anything quite like this. And so I get that you would be confused. Okay, can you all turn to page 22? And let me know when you get there. I think I ended up telling the 11:30 class this, but I didn't tell you guys. The numbers that they want us to divide by are 2, 3, and 6. Now it doesn't tell you that, but those are the numbers that you can divide your numerator and denominator by. Okay. So what is the first one? Let's divide it by 2, numerator and denominator by 2. And what do you get, Dikshita?
I got 4 by 8. What?
4/8 would, yeah, well, 4/8 is equivalent, but we're not going to get that by dividing by any of these numbers. But 4/8 is equivalent, so that's fine. But they're wanting us to do dividing by 2, 3, and 6. Alina?
I got 3/6.
Good. If we divide by 2, we get 3/6. Did anybody write that one?
Yeah, that's what I
3/6. Arshad, can you tell us another equivalent fraction?
The next one is 2/4.
2/4, good. If we divide them both by 3, that's what we would get, 2/4. What if we would divide both by 6? Tig?
Six divided by 6 equals 1, and 12 divided by 6 equals 2, so 1/2.
Good. Now, which of these is the simplest form? Alexander?
1/2.
1/2 is the simplest form. Very good. So even if you wrote some other ones like 4/8 as equivalent fractions, hopefully you found 1/2 as the simplest form. That's what's most important. I agree that this is kind of confusing. So I would understand if you just wrote other equivalent fractions like 4/8, because that is equivalent too. Or 5/10 is equivalent. Anything that's equivalent to 1/2 is also equivalent to 6/12. But they're wanting us to fraction that division method. So they're saying they should have been more clear, but they're looking for 3/6, 2/4, and 1/2 right there. You can add in extras if you didn't do that, okay? Did anybody have questions about this bottom part? No? Okay, let's just quickly go over the answers to that then. Rishith, what is the simplest form of 5/10?
2.
Not just 2. 2 is part of the fraction. Can you try that again? I'll give you a hint. We're going to divide both by the numerator 5 to get the simplest form. Rishith, unmute yourself, please, and tell me what 5 divided by 5 is.
I think this was hard for me.
Say it a little louder, please.
I think this was a little hard for me. Hard.
Okay, 1/2. I think that's what you said, but it's a little hard to hear you. 1/2 is correct. We divide both by 5 to get 1/2. If your denominator can be divided by the numerator, that's always the quickest way to get to simplest form. Now, that's not going to be able to happen with this one, 6/9. You can't divide 9 by 6. What is the simplest form of this one, though? Alina?
2/3.
Perfect. You got the same as Alina. 2/3 for number 25. Okay, Sahanasri, can you tell us what you got for 8/10? What's the simplest form of that one? We can't divide 10 by 8. We can divide them by 2, though. Can divide both by 2 since they're both even numbers. And what do we get?
8 divided by 2 is
8 divided by 2 is what?
okay. Let me check it.
2 times what is 8, Sahanasri?
Oh, 4.
Good. And 2 times what is 10?
5.
Perfect. So what is this fraction?
4/5.
Perfect. Karika, tell us the simplest form of the fraction 6/8. Now, for another hint, I told you guys yesterday, if both of the numbers are even, we know we can divide by 2, right? If we have even numbers, we know we can divide by 2. Karika? And we are tight on time, so we've got to move fast. I don't know where she is, but boys and girls, as soon as you're called upon, you should be ready to unmute, okay? Kruthi, can you help with the next one?
Sure. 1 second. Okay, so
Number 27.
what page are we on again?
100.
All right. I thought you said a different page.
Okay, I'll have you help with the next one. Alina, can you tell us what the simplest form of 6/8 is?
3/4.
Perfect. Well done, Alina. And we get that by dividing both by 2. Now, Kruthi, can you do our last one, 9/12? Now, this is not even, so we can't divide by 2. We can divide by 3, though. And what would we get if we divide by 3?
You would get, well, my dad said to do it with multiplication.
So we're trying to find simplest form, which means we're going to get to a smaller fraction. So we need to actually divide to find simplest form.
Oh.
Can you just tell me, even if it doesn't match what's on your page, tell me what 9 divided by 3 equals, and then 12 divided by 3.
9 divided by 3 would equal 3.
Good. And then 12 divided by 3?
12 divided by 3, 4.
Perfect. 3/4 is the simplest form. Okay, so you could have found maybe an equivalent fraction, but 3/4 is the simplest form of it. Okay, boys and girls, I understand completely if this is still a little confusing. We are going to continue practicing this in our next chapter on comparing fraction. We're still going to be putting into place that finding equivalent fractions when we get into this part about comparing, okay? So let's get started on this. If we need to slow things down eventually, we can. But hopefully that cleared at least some of that up, and we'll continue practicing it today. Okay, take out your math notebook at this time. We're going to be spending 2 days on this lesson. So we'll do a little bit of practice, but we'll do even more practice tomorrow because this is going to be a 2-day lesson. Feel free to get a drink of water right now. We are going into our last stretch of our lesson. Feel free to get a drink of water. If you've got your snack nearby, you can take a little bite of a snack. Harika, if you can hear me, you cannot leave this long for a math class. Sweetie, you missed the whole time that we were going over our math homework. Can you unmute yourself for a moment?
I had to use the restroom.
Okay, Harika, I'm going to have to send an email to your parents because you're missing really long chunks of time and we only have a very limited time that we can do math. You can't be gone for 10 minutes of it. Yes, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Harika. Okay, boys and girls. We are going to be working with comparing fractions today. Do any of you have your fraction strips nearby? The little baggie of fraction strips? Because that could be really helpful for this unit as well. Because we're going to be talking about comparing and ordering fractions, even if they have different denominators. And your fraction strips are going to be good hands-on ways of being able to see information like this. Because you'll be able to have 5/6 in your fraction strips and 1/2 and compare them. Let's take a moment to do that actually right now. Can you find 5/6 in your fraction strips and 1/2? In today's lesson, we're going to talk about how to compare fractions even if their denominator is different.
Our printer didn't have any, so.
Okay, Emma. If you have not done those fractions or printed off those fraction strips yet, it would be good to do that sometime this week still. Ask your parents about maybe if you could have a friend print it off or something like that. Well, looks like quite a few of you don't have your fraction strips handy. Boys and girls, you don't need to have them for today's lesson, but it is going to be really helpful for you to have a hands-on approach. So we'll get to that later. Tig, what were you saying with that? Do you not have your fraction strips or do you just have them drawn into your notebook?
I just have them drawn into my notebook.
Okay. So it says here, compare fractions using pictures and number lines. Now, using pictures and also with our fraction strips, it's helpful. We can just visualize which fractions are the biggest. Okay. For example, we've got a vegetarian pie here. There's 1/2 of a vegetarian pie, 3/4, and 1/4. Which of these is the largest fraction? The largest part of the pie? Emma?
3/4.
Perfect. That's the most pie. That's the largest fraction. Which of these is the smallest fraction? Ariansh?
1/4.
1/4, correct. With these pictures, you can immediately tell which one is the largest and which one's the smallest. A number line is also a great way to just have that visual information to see. We've got 1/2, 1/4, and 3/4, just like in the pictures of the pie. We know that 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. The number line helps us to see that really well. And then that shows us that 3/4 is more than 1/2. 1/4 is less. Okay, let's put that into practice right here. Rishith, can you tell me which of these is a greater fraction? 5/6 or 1/2?
One off.
1/2 is smaller because this, as you can see here, is basically the same as 3/6. You see that there's less here colored in than over here for 5/6. So 5/6 is greater than 1/2. Harika, can you do the second one for us? Which of these? We're going to say actually blank is less than blank.
2 and 1.
Do you remember how to read this fraction?
Halves. And
Very good.
1/2.
We'll say 1/2.
Yeah, 1/2 is less than 8/7.
Try that again.
And 7/8.
Very good, Harika. Okay, let's move on to another part. We didn't get to the number line, but that's okay. Now, we can also use models to compare like fractions. Now, like fractions have the same denominator. So all you have to do is compare the numerators. We have here Gina with 3/8. In this story problem, it says that they each divided their plates into equal parts. So she decorated 3/8 of her plate, and there's 5/8 and 8/8. Which of those is the largest fraction? Josiah?
8/8.
8/8 is the largest. Which one is the smallest fraction, Sahanasri?
3/8.
Very good. We will use the greater than, less than symbols in this chapter to compare those fractions. We could say 8/8 is greater than 5/8. 5/8 is greater than 3/8. And all you have to do to answer these ones where the denominator is the same is compare that numerator. So these numerators just go in order of 3, 5, 8, smallest to largest number. We will get to some fractions that are not like fractions, but let's put this into practice in our math notebook now. Okay, can you open up your math notebook? We're going to do a little bit of comparing like fractions practice, and then we'll get to a little bit of comparing unlike fractions. And let's have Marcus in our example problem today for the first one. Marcus, what is your favorite kind of pizza?
Well, my favorite pizza is an extra large sausage pizza because it has cheese and sausage.
Oh, that sounds tasty. Okay, so Marcus, let's say, here's your pizza. You love extra large sausage pizza.
Yes.
So you ate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 of your pizza. Whoa, of an extra large pizza. Have you ever eaten that much?
Actually, I have.
Now,
I had some constipation after it, but at least my stomach felt nice.
a little too much information, but that's good. I'm glad you liked it. Okay, now Samhita, she was not as hungry. She only ate also of the same type of pizza with 8 slices. She only ate 2 slices. Just being a ladylike, little Samhita only ate 2 slices. That's about how much I usually eat, 2 slices of pizza. Emma, same with you? Okay, then how about who's the hungriest person here? Let's say Aryansh came along and he ate 7 slices. Oh my goodness, Aryansh.
Quick thing, I've never eaten that much. First, that's like technically a whole pizza. And
Yeah, he left just 1 on the plate.
If I left 1, that would not be fair to my dad because he eats 2, so I have to save some from him. And I only eat like 2 or 3, and then my tummy gets very full already. And I barely, like probably only once or 0 times I've eaten 7 slices. But I am pretty hungry for pizza now that you talk about it.
Me too. Okay, so we've got 5/8, 2/8, and 7/8. Now, which of these is the least? All we have to do is look at the numerator. Which of these is the least? Alexander?
2/8. And also, I've eaten a whole pizza once.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so we could have done Alexander 8/8 of a pizza. Wow. Okay, so 2/8 is less than, that's how we draw the less than sign. Samhita just ate a ladylike amount, 2/8 of a pizza. It's less than Marcus's 5/8. Right? Now let's do 7/8 and 5/8. Which one's greater? Tig, which one's greater? 7/8 or 5/8?
7/8
That's right.
is greater than 5/8.
All we have to do is look at the numerator. Since all of these are like fractions, all you have to do is look at the numerator. Let's write a little note about that at the bottom too. Like fractions have the same denominator. Oops. That's what these are. They're all like fractions because they have the same denominator. Okay, we are running kind of short on time. I'm sorry, boys and girls, but I want to go over unlike fractions, at least this part. Yeah, this is the last part that we'll get to. We'll go over unlike fractions that have the same numerator next. Okay, now if we have unlike fractions, which means unlike means this different denominator, but what if they have the same numerator? Now imagine this. Going back to the pizza, if one pizza has 6 slices and you ate 3 of those 6 slices, and another pizza has 5 slices and you ate 3 of those 5 slices, which one is more pizza? Alexander?
5 slices, but can I explain it?
Yes, please explain it.
So, just imagine it's one whole pizza. You ate 3 slices. Wait, this is whole pizza, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's only 5 pieces. So imagine there's only 5 pieces, you take 3 away. You're left with 2. But if there's 6 pieces and you take 3 away, there's 3. So actually you eat 5. Sorry. 3/5 is more than 3/6.
Very good. 3/5 is more than 3/6 because each one is bigger. And there's only 2 left here, whereas there's 3 slices left here. Okay. Same with this one. In this example, there's 2/10 versus 2/7. Now, those are unlike fractions because the denominators are different. But since the numerators are the same, we can very quickly tell which one is bigger. Is 2/7 bigger or is 2/10 bigger? Arshad?
Mm, 2/7 is bigger.
Very good. 2/7 is bigger because the denominator is smaller. If the numerator is the same, you can just go with the smaller denominator to be the bigger fraction. Because it means there's less pieces. So that shows that each piece is bigger. Can you imagine if it was 2/100ths? If you had a pizza divided into 100 pieces, are those pretty tiny pieces? They are tiny pieces, minuscule pieces. So the bigger the denominator, the smaller the individual fraction. Okay, let's write that in our notebook, and that'll be our last little section about these unlike fractions that have the same numerator. We'll do an example of 3/8 and 3/5. Please draw 2 bars. Try to get them to be equal length. I'm going to make this one into 8 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are not super even, but it'll work. And then this one is going to be just 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to color in 3 of each. This is the fraction 3/8. This is 3/5. Now, remember, the larger the denominator, the smaller the piece. The larger the denominator, the smaller the piece. So is 3/8 or 3/5 more? Which one's greater? Dikshita?
3/5.
Good. 3/5 is greater than 3/8. When your numerator is the same, then just remember that the smaller denominator is actually a bigger fraction. And picture Again, a pizza divided out. If you've got only 5 pieces, each of those pieces is bigger than if you had 8 pieces. Okay? These are called unlike fractions because they have a different denominator, but we can compare them easily with with the same numerator. We call these unlike fractions. But again, we can compare easily if the numerator is the same. Okay, that is all for our class today. We didn't get through quite all of our pages, but we're going to do an extra day on this lesson tomorrow. And let's take a look at what you're going to do for homework, because I might have to edit it slightly. Okay, now for your math pages today, you're going to compare fractions, and you can just do this by looking, right? Just say which of these fractions is greater, or in some cases, they're going to ask blank is less than blank. So just see which ones are bigger and smaller, just using the pictures to help you. Ariansh?
So you see that line that it wants you to put the fraction on? Can you use that line as the line that separates the numerator and the denominator?
Yes, you can.
It's a
Good question. Yeah, you can just write the fraction that way. Okay, these also on page 102, you should be able to just see which one looks bigger. Does that part make sense, these pages so far? It's just by looking that you can answer these questions. Okay, now these ones, you're going to have to change. So, okay, don't do page 103. I'm going to change that in Bright Thinker, but you're not going to do page 103 because we didn't get to this yet. Okay, so you're just going to do page 101 and 102. And I'll change that in Bright Thinker so that you don't do this one. Okay, any questions? Alexander?
I wonder, what do you think will happen to the farmer boy?
Oh, do you think his pumpkin's gonna win?
Probably. I'm pretty sure.
We'll see. What do you guys think? Will his pumpkin win?
I know the answer, but I won't spoil
We
it.
don't know if it's the best pumpkin. We do know it's the biggest. Maybe they're not looking for the biggest pumpkin. What do you think,
I know the
Ariansh?
answer, but I won't spoil it.
I know the answer, so I can't spoil it either because it's just it's so pretty. It was in the same chapter,